Imagine discovering that the child you've loved, nurtured, and raised for years isn't yours. This was the reality for two mothers in Ibadan, Nigeria, whose lives were forever changed by a single mistake. This story follows two families in Ibadan who discovered that their babies were swapped at birth. What followed was a journey of heartbreak, forgiveness, and a unique bond that redefined the meaning of family. In the lively city of Ibadan, where sprawling markets buzz with traders and ancient brown-roofed houses whisper tales of the past, a heartbreaking yet unforgettable story unfolded. The story began in Adetokunbo General Hospital, a bustling healthcare facility at the heart of the city. Two women, strangers brought together by fate, gave birth on the same rainy night. Mrs. Omolara, a successful businesswoman, welcomed a baby boy after years of praying and fasting for a child. In the neighboring ward, Mama Ngozi, a fruit seller at Bodija Market, cradled her own newborn daughter. Amid the chaos of the understaffed hospital, a tired nurse accidentally swapped the babies while tagging them. Unaware of the error, the mothers took their babies home, blissfully ignorant of the mix-up that would upend their lives. For 3 years, life continued as expected. Mrs. Omolara's son, named Amidst, was lively but had features that didn't quite align with his family's. Meanwhile, Mama Ngozi's daughter, Chisom, seemed unusually confident and bold for someone raised in humble surroundings. Neighbors whispered, but no one dared voice their suspicions. Everything changed when Amidst fell seriously ill. Doctors recommended a blood transfusion, and Mrs. Omolara and her husband volunteered. Shockingly, neither of them was a match. A paternity test soon revealed the unthinkable. Amidst was not their biological child. Confused and desperate for answers, the couple revisited Adetokunbo General Hospital, where the hospital's management launched an investigation. DNA tests were conducted on all babies born the same day, eventually leading them to Mama Ngozi and Chisom. The revelation was a bombshell. Both families were devastated. Mrs. Omolara broke down in tears, mourning the years lost with her biological child. Mama Ngozi, equally heartbroken, clutched Chisom tightly, unable to imagine life without the little girl she had raised. The situation escalated into a media frenzy. Ibadan streets buzzed with gossip, radio stations debated the moral dilemma, and local churches and mosques held prayer sessions for the families involved. Despite the public attention, the two mothers chose to meet privately at Mrs. Omolara's residence. The air was heavy with emotion as they sat face to face, each holding the child they had unknowingly nurtured. "What do we do now?" Mama Ngozi asked, her voice trembling. Mrs. Omolara sighed deeply. "We must think of the children first." After days of discussions, both families reached an agreement. The children would be gradually introduced to their biological parents, while maintaining strong bonds with the families who had raised them. They decided to co-parent, ensuring that neither child felt abandoned or unloved. The hospital, on its part, faced public outrage. The management issued an apology and implemented strict identification protocols for newborns, including the use of digital tagging systems. The nurse responsible for the error, overcome with guilt, resigned and sought forgiveness from both families. As time passed, Amidst and Chisom grew to understand their unique situation. With the love and support of their families, they embraced their shared history, becoming symbols of resilience in the city. The story of the swapped babies became a cautionary tale in Ibadan. It highlighted the importance of accountability in healthcare and the enduring power of love and forgiveness. To this day, elders in the city recount the tale to remind others that family is more than blood. It is the love and sacrifices that bind us together. And so, in the heart of Ibadan, two families turned a devastating mistake into a powerful lesson, showing the world that even in the face of unimaginable pain, unity and compassion can prevail.